Hello everybody, I'm back. Well, I guess I do not have to announce that anymore, do I? I do return, just like the cat. Anyway, I want to start this video off once again, and as always, thanking you for being back, my returning subscribers, my new subscribers, all of those who are leaving comments below my videos. I'm trying to get to as many of them as possible. All of you who've sent me such lovely email, all the information, all the tips, and just the ones chatting with me. I just want to let you know I am behind on my email. We were without internet for approximately a day and a half because our repeater tower was vandalized once again, cables and batteries stolen, but we're back on air, and hence I am back too. Okay, what do we want to talk about today? Well, unfortunately, I have not been in a great mood since last week, Thursday, Friday, for a number of reasons. And I am just warning you that this video may turn into yet another rant. So if you guys are maybe not in an emotional place to take another rant, please log off right now, because this serves as a warning that it may just turn into a rant. I'm not saying it will, I'll see how I get along, but it may. Anyway, so today we will be talking about Meghan and Harry and the Times 100 interviews that had recently taken place. Now, to start off with, how do I put this? The complete video is approximately an hour, and I really battled getting through it all. So I may get back to it, or I may just decide to drop it once I've had my say on the first 16 minutes or so. Alright, so let's start with Harry. Harry started first responding to Time Editor-in-Chief Edward Falsethal on how they're doing during COVID. So Harry said, I think when people ask, how are you? I sense, it's a case of really, how are you? He goes on to say that before this year, he thinks it was just a term that people threw around. So effectively, Harry had nothing new to say and opted to echo his wifey with her old story about nobody asks how I am. A narrative she started in South Africa, so I know all about it and I'm so sick of it. Oh man, go crawl into a corner and go boo-hoo and get it over and done with. What is also noticeable, even this early in the interview, is how Harry is starting to mimic Meghan's speech patterns, throwing in her famous right and idiot. He's such an idiot. Harry, except for the fact that you and your handler Meghan are repeating yourselves for the umpteenth time, nobody knows what another senses. We are not bloody mind readers, Harry. So if you sense, and we know, it's a case of really, how are you? That is your interpretation, Harry, which you have now shared with us a number of times. Get over it and freaking move on. Okay, I've made notes, so you're going to hear me page. Harry talks about the digital world becoming a refuge for some people. I'll give Harry that one, because quite honestly, the digital world is my refuge. I'm a middle-aged single woman. I work from home, so I have nowhere else to go, particularly in a country which has become increasingly dangerous. I cannot take my vehicle and drive hundreds of kilometers to go visit my mother, my brother, on my own anymore. I will not make it from my home to my parents' home safely, guaranteed. So yes, the digital world has become my refuge. And for those of you who think I am battling with narcissism, just like our friend Meghan Markle, I am not. But I can only give you things from my perspective. I have no idea how you guys think or feel. I may read your comments and get an idea, but your innermost feelings and thoughts, I'm not a mind reader. I do not know your real feelings. 99% of you are strangers to me. So unfortunately, when I do these videos, you will hear I and me from me, because you are getting my perspective, and my perspective comes from my own circumstances. And when I look at this, I find that Meghan and Harry do not consider other people's circumstances, and that is where my problem lies with them. Anyway, to continue, Harry goes on to explain about the love-hate relationship that people have with the digital world. He tells how he has been involved with the environment for the past 12 to 15 years, and how he sees the digital space hampering the progress that needs to be made. Excuse me? How do we get messages out worldwide these days, Harry? How? I can tell you, let me quickly tell you something about the country I live in. Our normal postal services in this country is up to shite. It has been for a number of years. We barely have street delivery anymore. They're not increasing the mailboxes so we can receive our mail in mailboxes, go there and get it ourselves. If a mailbox does become available, you pay a hell of a lot of money to keep that mailbox. And I've now been in my small town for more than 10 years. I have applied for a mailbox year one. 10 years down the line, and I still do not have one. Okay? So when I'm lucky, my mail gets put into my gate. And if I don't see it within the first, say, 10-15 minutes, the wind blows it out, and if I'm not lucky and see it lying on the ground a couple of meters further, there goes my mail. I have lost checks, I have lost cards, I've lost bills that way. Anyway, we all, well, you guys won't know, but South Africans will know that approximately a year ago, our post office went on a massive strike. And the mail that collected there, I'm sure that most of us have not received half of that mail that was due to come to us. I know that just before that strike, I sent out parcels, and I had to replace exactly half of those parcels after the strike. In other words, once again, our government and our parastatals made me lose income. But that's another matter. So how do we get messages out? How do we educate people? If we have a message, say for instance, like Harry, about the environment, how do we gain support for that message? How do we educate people about the environment if you are so negative about the digital world? In my mind, the digital world is more of a blessing than a curse. And it's up to us as to how we deal with the digital world. Of course, Meghan gets a turn to talk about the digital world, the internet and social media. And of course, one of the first things she has to do is to point out that they have, and I'm putting in brackets only, been able to really learn as much as they can since January this year. Of course, Meghan had to throw shade on the royal family. Meghan then pulled the Archie card trick once again, telling how they are using the time during lockdown to spend quality time with dear Archie. I have news for Meghan Malarkey. And I actually thank Alex Belfield for this nickname, because the word malarkey means nonsense, and that's what she speaks most of the time. Anyway, I have news for Meghan Malarkey. All good parents try to make time, quality time, to spend with their kids or our kids, even as working parents. I personally have never been blessed enough to be a stay-at-home mom. Never. I think the longest I stayed at home with my children was probably about 8 months after their birth. I have always worked. I have always been a working mom. But over weekends, I would take my kids fishing. I would take them to McDonald's. We would do fabric painting. We would play games. I was lucky enough at some point in my life to have a swimming pool in my backyard. The kids swam. They had picnics in the backyard. We had pets galore. I tried to give my children a well-rounded education and life, regardless of the fact that I worked a full day. And at some point when I was single, I even worked up to 18 hours certain days. So, who is she? A woman who is more than financially secure. A woman who, no matter how she gets the money from the royal family, when she does, it's not 10 Rand or 100 Rand or $10 or $20. We're talking about $1 million a shot. Anyway, and then she does these Zoom calls once a week, twice a week. Even as a working grandmother and one who still works long hours, I make time to spend time and share quality time with my grandson, who is in actual fact legally and otherwise not even my responsibility. But I still take him fishing, catching crabs, collecting bones. Yeah, the poor man, the great dragon man, is a bone collector. Anyway, we go into the field, obviously not alone, and we look for dry, sun-bleached bones left by, I think he has the skull of a snake and so on and so on, bones of a mouse and so on. I don't like it coming into my home, but I do not want to stop him doing it, as I believe it's educational and it's something he's really taking an interest into. Anyway, so I take him to collect bones. Whatever catches our interest, whatever we spoke about during the week, we try and reiterate over the weekend by doing certain activities. I also did that as a mother and a grandmother long before lockdown. So Meghan coming out now and saying, oh, lockdown afforded them the time to spend with Archie, time they would normally have spent working. Really, Meghan? Really? Anyway, I wonder how much time you spend with Archie anyway, and how much time your nanny spends with Archie. In any event, so yeah, actually, I have one thing to say to her. Actually, Meghan, I for one, and I'm certain that 90% of my subscribers will agree, We do not need lockdown to be able to spend quality time with our children. We do it because we love them. We make the time, even as full-time working parents. And then, as expected, she lapsed into social media and the online world, and it was there that I lost my shite completely. She said, "It can feel really overwhelming to try to understand all the nuances of what happens online." Now, firstly, why do we need to understand all the nuance of what's going on online? In short, we don't. We can understand or try to understand what we are interested in. And that's it. Full stop. And I am sick of this woman using words like overwhelming, overwhelming, unsurvivable. I wish I could take this woman and show her what unsurvivable means. We just had 100,000 hectares in the Free State burnt to smithereens. You know what, Meghan? Those poor animals, the cattle and the wild animals that roamed those farms, that or those fires were unsurvivable for them. You little nincompoop. If you cannot survive something negative said about you by complete strangers, you are not worth going on this times 100 platform, you little twit. And I'm sorry, people, but that is how I feel about it. Unsurvivable means that you're going to die because of a certain situation. You can call me an idiot, call me a racist, and I have been called an idiot and I have been called a racist on this very platform. And I have lost my cool with certain comments with regards to my politics that nobody knows much about in any event, at least not people on this platform. I have lost my cool. But you know what? Once I've had my say, it was over. I moved on. I'm an adult. I don't know those people. They don't know me. They don't mean too little. They mean less to me than 1 grain of sugar in my coffee. They don't support my channel. So, you don't like me? Bugger off. Go find a channel that you do like. On the odd occasion, I do debate with these people, just to get it out of my own system, to have my say. But you know what? Once it's over, it's over. It's over. I move on. But not Meghan Markle. For her, it's unsurvivable. It's overwhelming. Oh, please, can someone please go change this woman's nappy? And then something else. Each and every time Edward Falsethal introduces the next guest and he speaks about Meghan and Harry speaking to whoever comes next, he introduces them as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and then certain people, and now I'm blaming the royal family as well. Certain people and the royal family want to tell me that they are not using their titles to gain fame and freaking money. Bugger off. Of course they are. They are using their titles to get onto the Time 100 platform. They are using their titles to spew shite, to try and F with our brains. Well, you're not going to do that with mine, I'm sorry. And I'm sure they are not going to do it with my dear subscribers, because we are brighter and more clever than that. We see them for what they are. Okay, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on the Times 100, what's it called? Better digital world or whatever they want to call it. I'm so upset now, I can't even think. The next thing that happens is that Meghan interviews Alexis O'Hanlon. And I'm just going to refer to him as Alexis because my tongue keeps tripping over his surname. Now, the first thing, this program was introduced by both Harry and Meghan. And when the next guests come on, it's again Meghan and Harry. But why was Meghan interviewing Alexis on her own? Why not both Meghan and Harry? I find this very suspicious. Anyway, she speaks to him about him stepping back from Reddit and specifically asking that his place be filled by someone of color. Now, my first question would be, why not ask that his space be filled by the most qualified person? But anyway, that's just my question. He says that he did it for his daughter. Okay, my question is, so what is he actually teaching his daughter? Is he actually teaching his daughter that she does not have to have ambition, that she doesn't have to study, that she doesn't have to work to better herself because things will just come her way because she's either black or mixed race? Is that what he's teaching his daughter? Well, Alexis, then I think you are sending the wrong message to your child, and I don't have much respect for your for the way you bring up your child. Okay, Meghan also talks about the shared experience of being in an interracial marriage and raising interracial children. Well, if you can call changing the batteries on your photo op prop raising a child, then I guess that's fine by me. But I just want to address something quickly. Meghan herself is 50% black, 50% white because she has a black mother, a white father. Harry has both a white mother and a white father. So Archie, if you do your maths, if you do your sums, Meghan is 50% white, 50% black. Harry is 100% white. Archie is then actually 1/4 black and 3/4 white. Meghan herself looks white and has always identified as white. Whereas Serena, both her parents are black, and Alexis' parents are both white. So their daughter is 50% black and 50% white. Do you see what I'm getting at? Meghan herself does not look black, where Serena does. And I don't mean this in any derogatory sense. I'm just pointing out the facts. Meghan doesn't look black. She, or Archie, doesn't look black. As a matter of fact, Archie isn't black. Neither her nor Archie will ever be treated as anything but white. So how can she compare herself with Serena, who, by the way, I think is a beautiful black woman and a woman who really, really worked and worked and worked her butt off to get where she is? A woman I respect. How the hell could she compare herself to Serena or Serena's daughter? Compare herself or even compare Archie. Meghan is falling out of the bus. She is insane. She lives in her own imaginary world. And the sooner her stans, her fans, and the royal family sees this, the better it will be for us all. Okay, so Alexis says that he wants to create a better and fair world for his child. So let's put the brakes on for a moment and look at some of the results of Meghan and her hubby's latest, and their mates' latest actions and word salad. We are prone to look at what Harry and Meghan has to say, or their word salad, and we forget that they still have a following out there. They have people who hang on to their every word, who digest every word they say and make it their own personal motto. And that is why I feel that Harry and Meghan are treading on very dangerous ground. And why do I feel that way? Because I am in my I do have a Instagram account that's linked to my channel, but I also have a personal Instagram and Twitter account. And I read and I see how people react to what Meghan and Harry have to say. And just as an example, I'm going to put up this one post that I took off Instagram, and I think it was on Bananatarian's Instagram account, and you can find her at WG_Bananatarian on Instagram. If it wasn't, then I'm sorry, but I do think it was on hers. And I'm putting it up here for you to have a look. And I'm asking you, what is this post saying? That mixed race children didn't have a future until Megs gave them one? Really? Okay. If and when I have the time and really feel like it, but I don't even think I need to convince you otherwise. But you just need to have a look at how our community is actually put together. And you want to tell me that not a single mixed race child ever had any success in life? No, we all know that is BS. We know that. We are more clever than that. But Meghan and Harry's fans believe that Meghan is changing the world for black and mixed race people. She's not. Our laws may be changing the world for everybody. Because no matter who you are, no matter what your skin color, when life and the world as we know it change, we have to change. We have to adapt. Not Meghan. Meghan is a drop in the ocean. But let me say this. She's a drop nonetheless. And I'll tell you what, she is the drop coming from a sewage pipe running into the ocean. That's how I see her. Because she's talking sewage. What comes out of her mouth is pure malarkey. We have laws to protect us. That's why we go out and vote for the person we think would best protect us. And then more often than not, we're being let down anyway. But that's neither here nor there. Children will have a future if we, the community, give them a future. Whether they're white, whether they're black, pink, green, brown, yellow. It's up to us, the adults, the parents, the grandparents, the broader community, to give our children life. To give them hope, to give them a future. not Meghan. Not only do I personally find the discussion between Meghan Markle and Alexis Ohanian racist. Yes, I do. But the comments from her sugars are even more so. I would hope that all our children, white, black, mixed, Asian, Indian, you name it, will have bright futures. I find Meghan's and Alexis's discussion frivolous and dumb. As for if they wish to promote equality, it will not do to separate and divide people into race. And what does equality mean? Equality means we all play equally on the same playing field, people. And I apologize to my subscribers. I know most of you agree with me, and I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at those dumb nuts who are too dumb to see this, to understand this. If I go on the athletics track and I want to compete, and I want an equal chance to win, then I have to start from the same point as all the other athletes. If you give one guy a couple of meters leeway, if you say, okay, Mr. Chinaman, Mr. Indian, Mr. Whitey, you start at the 100-meter mark, and Mr. Mixed Race Joe, you start at the 90-meter mark. Who do you think is going to win? And is that fair? Is that equal? No, it's not fair, and it's not equal. And it's simple to understand. But it's not that simple for Meghan and apparently Alexis Ohanian to understand. Yeah, I've battled to watch the rest because I was so worked up by 16.39 minutes into the video that I found it very, very difficult to watch the rest. But I think I'm going to end this video right here, and then I'm going to be making a part 2 discussing something else which cropped up in this video. And I will discuss that part very calmly, I promise. So for now, I'm saying goodbye and thank you once again. And I'm saying this with tears in my eyes. Thank you to all of you who are returning to my channel. Thank you to all of you who comment on my video. Thank you in particular to all of you who are taking the time out of your busy days to send me an email. And thank you to all of you who have been sending me donations and gifts. You know what? The money is welcome. But for me, it's not just about the money. It's about knowing you guys are out there and you're hurting on my behalf and you're hurting yourselves. And we are supporting one another regardless of color, of religion, and even sexual orientation. Because you know what? I don't care about that. You treat me with respect, love and kindness, and I will treat you with respect, love and kindness in return. And that is what it's all about, people. Thank you to those of you who are supporting me. You are great, and you have no idea what change you have brought to my life. You have no idea. Thank you. And you know what? If it wasn't for the digital world and it wasn't for social media, I would never have met you. I would have been here in my little cottage in the middle of nowhere, not knowing that there are people like you out in the world. Kind, generous, intelligent souls. And I love you all. So please take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.